Hey everybody, welcome back. After I played Hornings Meadow Ridge the other day, for that video I ran through the Highlands course, my favorite pitch and putt in the whole area. Nice full 18, lots of elevation. Hole 180 a bit downhill. There was a bunch of people here on this course this day, so I really just buzzed through this course, but sometimes that helps me focus, not trying to take 82 ace runs per hole or whatever, and it definitely helped me out a bit today. Hole 1 left myself a little bit wide here, but it was only maybe 23, 24 feet, and I was able to get the first one. That's the one that matters. Hole 2 is back up that same hill. None of these holes are all that long if you haven't seen this course before. The elevation and some of the schnarb is really the struggle. This one has a big downhill right behind the basket, so if you don't get your distance right, you can end up all the way back down the hill, and I've been down there plenty. But kept the berg short on this one and was able to throw in a couple nice little birdie putts. So hole 3, it's going to be up over this hill here. You can see the basket poking out kind of on the middle left there. I went back to the berg, which is my kind of choice putter for control lately. Right over the top of the hill, have like a nice little 15-foot tap in that shouldn't be any kind of big deal. And Hornings baskets strike again. That was off the pole, straight out the backside. Kind of is what it is with these baskets. So there's a par. Kind of slowed my train down a little bit. But hole 4, downhill and to the left. In the summer here, it's a little bit harder because this tree grows in over the top, so the big wide hyzer line isn't quite as easy. I tried to crash it in anyway and was just a little short. Hit the guardian tree for the basket and dumped myself, I don't know, still at maybe 15 feet, so no big deal, right back on it. Again, I'd already played a bunch of holes. I played all of Meadow Ridge, threw some extra shots, so I was plenty warmed up for this and kind of had my distances and everything dialed in before I played. Hole 5, the one hole over the water here, the basket is kind of to the right of me there in the trees. I sawed this method off a little bit, but when I got up there, I still had this nice reach out look. Behind the basket there, another steep hill that will roll away, so I had to kind of make this or die, and luckily I did make it. Hole 6, that lake is still to the left, and I've been in it before on this hole, so I kind of naturally throw to the right now and just kind of take my chances. I don't try and get this far right, but you know, I'd rather be over here than off to the left in the bushes, so I just had a little deflector forehand up here to dunk in for the par. 7, steep uphill. You see 16-foot elevation gain here. I went up to that method again instead of throwing a putter like I usually do, and I just kind of yeeted this thing. At this point, I thought it was fine, and then it came down, you know, 25 feet behind the basket up the hill, but I had this little window here, so really wasn't the end of the world to throw down and put that in. Had I missed, there's a big rollaway potential there too. That's kind of the risk on all these holes. Hole 8, the one hole I really threw a bunch of discs on. I like to try and ace this one. My buddy just aced this last time we played here. I did not, and I didn't get any of the ones I threw to can, but they were all pretty close. Hole 9, first true forehand hole for me. You can see the basket's kind of a left to right fairway. I did not throw a good forehand and left myself maybe 35 feet here. But again, I was already dialed in all day on my putting and everything, so I felt pretty confident just running these and was able to cash both of my tries from about 35. Those guys behind me had caught up to me at this point, so I kind of rushed through 10 here. You can't really see the basket. I would say it's straight behind these trees on the left here in this little bowl. I threw the AVR X3 there just because it felt right, and I put it right behind the basket. I don't know how close it was to acing because you can't really see the basket right now this time of year. 11 used to be a lot harder. Big steep drop off right behind the basket, so distance control is important, but this tree fell down or got cut down last year, and it really, now your goal is to just kind of slide it up there and into this tree, which I did. Anywhere along that's an easy putt. 12, steep downhill, almost 50 feet down. Keeping this thing low is important. For me, I just go with this little half-hearted flick that skipped right behind the basket and left me, I don't know, 10 feet for a little tap-in birdie. This one can get away from you a little bit if you don't stay on the fairway. 13, you got trees obstacle. The basket's kind of right behind this tree straight ahead. I went long with the berg, hit the tree behind it, and just kind of rolled right under the basket. Could have been quite a bit longer, but ultimately, you know, I got the lucky roll and didn't run away. 14 maybe the hardest hole in my opinion because of this initial gap. It's a little bit uphill on a hill. If you miss short, or if you get up on an edge, or you go left, there's rollaway potential. If you hit a tree early, you kick off into some deep stuff. I got through the gap and left myself, pretty decent 15-foot tap in. 15, very short hole, downhill a little bit. Another distance control hole, right behind the basket, steep drop off. And if you get long, you don't really have a birdie look. So I stayed on the side of caution, threw my berg quite a bit short, maybe 20 feet, which is a scary putt here with the hill right behind, but I was able to cash it. 16, I wanted to forehand this, but I wasn't really feeling my forehand, so I decided to try and play this backhand hyzer line with my berg. I really didn't actually want to hyzer it. I wanted to go kind of low and flat, and instead I went high and hyzer. Ticked that branch there and kicked a circle's edge. Lots of foliage this time of year, pine cones, branches. All the trees are super thick. If you get off to the side of the fairway on this course, you're searching for discs for a while. Luckily, again, I was pretty warmed up, so I didn't get off it too bad on this course. Canned a couple circles edge. Those felt good too. 17, maybe my favorite ace run hole. Almost no elevation, got this bowl behind it. I decided to go back to this berg again, and I thought I put it on a pretty good line for an ace run here, and it just never really hooked up, but left me 10 foot. I decided to throw that AVRX3 again because it worked out before, and this happened. Even with the roll away, didn't feel too bad to have a little tap in here. The mosquitoes were out of control this day. It was driving me insane. Constantly having to swat them out of my eyes. Anytime I stopped, they were in my eyes and my ears. It's a lot bigger problem on Meadow Ridge than it was over here in Highland where the holes are shorter. So 18, I normally go kind of a flexy backhand on this, but I decided to throw my A2 and just give it enough space where it could come back and slide down the hill. I actually sawed it off a little bit inside, but ended up right at the base of this tree here, and then had an uphill 25-footer to get my last birdie of the day. Again, the bugs were a big issue, but I was able to regain my focus and can the uphill putt. So fun little round. I went like 16 down, which felt really good. Thanks for coming along, guys. I love filming these videos for you. Thanks for all the feedback I've been getting in person. Take it easy.